Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently above 47k, just above it, but it's already climbing higher. It's just that CoinMarketCap here has not updated yet. So we can see here on the 4-hour chart that Bitcoin seems to be breaking out of this triangle that we identified in the previous video. This, we said it could be called a bull flag potentially here. Yeah. So we had a few things here on the chart that were looking interesting. Obviously that descending wedge pattern, which is a bullish pattern. Yeah, a continuation pattern after a consolidation. What we saw, if you zoom in, we can see that the price did break out already here in the last 4-hour candle, retested, yeah, so came down all the way to support or to test that previous resistance level here, that descending trend line. And now in the next 4-hour candle, it seems to me that it's going higher again. It is still above the ascending trend line, and I told you that it is so important that if we stay above that ascending trend line, of course you're going to continue on its way up. But because on the daily we had this so-called hanging man pattern, is it hanging man? Or this hammer pattern, which is a bearish reversal pattern here yesterday. Normally you would want a little bit of a shorter body, but anyway, it is a potential reversal pattern after the price struggled to push above the 48k. You then try here once more, come down deeper. The buyers step in again, but fail to push the price even higher. And that exactly can indicate a reversal to the downside. But what I did tell you in the previous video is that we were still above the ascending trend line. And as long as you can ride the trend, you are in an uptrend, right? So we are above this ascending trend line, and that remains the case until it's broken. Yeah. So it is a first heads up, this candlestick, but it does not need to play out. Yeah, it's only one indicator. So we've got that on the 4-hour chart. Of course, now we see a breakout here to the upside. However, what we don't see, and that would be so important in addition to a retest on the 4-hour chart, is the volume. Yeah, we don't see the volume at the moment. So if I zoom out, you might see it a little bit clearer, that really there is only minimal volume at the moment. So if now volume comes in, I would be very confident we can push to the beginning of the wedge again. That would be anyway the price target for that pattern. So that would be that 48.1, 48.2k level. Without volume, yes, we can move there as well, but it won't be really like a real breakout of a pattern. It would just be maybe a trailing along this ascending trend line. And the risk, if we don't see the volume, the risk is that we break that trend line to the downside. Yeah, and a breakout to the downside would happen today below 47.1k. So if you lose that level, then I think there is a risk that we come down and retest previous resistance as support, because we haven't done that yet anyway. So I think there is still a good chance we come down and retest here, for example, that 45.8k level or even 45.5 before we can continue the way up. But at the moment, as you can see here, we broke out of that triangle to the upside, and that could lead to short-term price increases all the way up to 48k. But the real deal, the real breakout point will be here, this level. I mean, if I zoom out, you can see it. We already, obviously, Bitcoin decided in the last few days that it's going to go up because it did break above that 45.8k level. But as we talked about it, we are still below the 200-day moving average, which is very relevant. So I'm just making that visible on the chart here, that yellow line. That is exactly falling together with this ascending trend line here in orange. So they are basically producing here this channel. So you've got here that ascending trend line down there. You've got the other ascending trend line here. And Bitcoin seems to be moving a little bit in a channel. So we've got these two resistance levels coming together, the 200-day moving average and that ascending trend line. So that will be the very important next breakout point at around 48.3k. Before then, Bitcoin can move to 51k, which would be after that next resistance level. Overall, my scenario now primarily, as I said, after we break above 45.8k, would be that we move up higher here at the minimum to 51k. At a minimum, then we could already start to turn around, but more likely would be the range between 55 and 61k. But it's even possible to get all the way up to 65k in that wave B before we come down once more in a C wave into the target area down here. That is still what I primarily expect, because Bitcoin just hasn't completed its correction yet. Yeah, so many altcoins have, and we identified buying opportunities for altcoins on this channel, and I think that is currently working out beautifully. Yeah, as altcoins are just pumping, so that was exactly working out for most altcoins. For Bitcoin though, I'm still waiting for that lower low to come in. Of course it will affect altcoins as well, but as I said before, what could just happen with many altcoins that are currently outperforming Bitcoin is that many of them might have already seen their low, and when Bitcoin comes lower and will come into that target area here, which will be below the low of June, which is here that wave A around 28.7k, Bitcoin might make a lower low and these altcoins might just make a higher low. That is still what is very, very much possible. Yeah, that is my view here currently. So we are moving here currently towards that 48k level, that next resistance level or the target of that wedge. But we need to see the volume. At the moment, there is literally no volume. Okay, so that's my view here on Bitcoin at the moment. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.